In a round where we saw some great field goals to win games, Christchurch, oh my god. And finally, Valentine Holmes shanking the kick, causing the Dragons to lose. This is
Jealousy, turning snakes into the sea, swimming through sick lullabies, choking on your alibis, but it's just the price I pay. Destiny is calling me. Open up my eager eyes, 'cause I missed the bright side.
Hello everybody and welcome to LTW, your favourite weekly NRL review show. Obviously, league this week, I will always be talking about NRL and basically all the games that happened. Obviously, there were some interesting games. We had the Rabbitohs, Parramatta and the Broncos all out for a bye. So we're just going to get straight into this with our first game between the Newcastle Knights and the Dragons. This one was actually pretty shocking. Obviously, Knights won 22-20, but the Dragons came so close and possibly could have gone on to win it if it wasn't a mistake by Valentine Holmes missing the kick from basically in front, or even Carl Flanagan. He was unable to just put the ball down literally right at the end. He could have won the Dragons the game, but no, too many mess ups from the Dragons and it really costs them. The Knights have gone away with it and they'll continue on their good winning form. It's great. It's exactly what the Newcastle fans want to see. Newcastle are in a very good place so far in the league. Obviously, because of Origin, there was no Thursday game. There was a break. Check out the Origin video. I don't want to yap too much about it because it's been a sad week for New South Wales fans. And that kind of continued, especially if you're a Tigers fan. I'm not obviously, but for people like the NRL, to speak through May G, the Tigers are back to losing ways, losing 22-36 to the Dolphins in Campbelltown. And you know what? I'm not even questioning the performance. I'm more questioning what they're going to do now, because at Campbelltown when they play, or like sometimes in Combank, they wear the white jersey, representing the Magpies. But at Leichhardt, they wear the orange one, representing the Balmain Tigers. But now they don't have Leichhardt anymore, and it's just Campbelltown because Leichhardt's been gone in 2028. It makes me question, are they just not going to play in orange anymore when they play at Campbelltown? It's a bit weird. I'm sure we'll find out in the next few weeks. But more on the game, the Dolphins actually played quite well, and it's just classic Dolphins. This year is definitely the year for the Dolphins to make the 8, and you know what? They might even make the top 4 as well. The Tigers continue on their downfall. But then the game after that was an even bigger shock. The Gold Coast Titans add to the list of 2 teams this season who somehow have been able to beat Penrith. Penrith are so good, so dominant, but the 2 games they've lost is the sides you'd think they would easily beat. One being the Bulldogs, who have actually been really poor. Obviously, they won this week. We'll talk about that in a second. But the Gold Coast Titans, we know how poor this team is and so inconsistent. And even sometimes they're so consistent, but it's at being bad. They're never really a really good side, but to us, I had a little bit of a feeling it's a bit of a revenge from last year, what happened with the train, all of that. The Titans have won. They put in their beautiful Chargers jersey and something they like to call retro round, and they beat Penrith. That's more important. That is very big for the NRL and very big for the Titans. We were talking about that Broncos win a few weeks ago, maybe one of their biggest in their entire whole, just being a club in general, like of all time. This could definitely go down with that. Beating Penrith with a field goal, it was incredible. So good job to the Gold Coast Titans. But this next one, I'm not super happy about. These are like the 2 teams I hate the most, the Bulldogs and Manly. And as much as I hate Manly, I wanted them to win because I like Fosball and I don't like the Bulldogs at all. Well, that didn't happen. The Bulldogs playing in their beautiful, to us, I got to say it's beautiful, their black and blue jersey. They came back from 12-0 down to come on and win in Golden Point with Critter. Critter's been brilliant. I can't believe he keeps doing this. But Critter with the field goal and Golden Point, winning the game 13-12. A problem there for Manly, when you have a closer deep dive into it, is they didn't make a single conversion at all. And that really ended up costing them. That's unfortunate, and that's really good, though, for Bulldogs. Then we went to One New Zealand Stadium in Christchurch, and oh my goodness, Apparently this has been sold out for like months. It looked incredible, man. The Warriors played in a beautiful reddish black jersey. It was a great theme, and the Warriors got the win by 18 points, winning 38-20 over Cowboys, who've had a bit of an up and down season so far. But man, the Warriors are looking really, really good, and it's a really big one for them. Then we go on to the second Sunday game between the Storm and the Raiders. This one actually started off with the Raiders going ahead, but the Storm ended up winning by 22 points, finishing the score 42-20. Actually, if you look at the stats, the 3 of the 4 tries for the Raiders were scored in the first 16 minutes. It looked dominant at the start, but man, they just came back. They came back so quickly, the Storm. They 3 tries to the Raiders, 3 tries to the Storm, then a try to the Raiders, and they just kept going for the Melbourne Storm. It was an entertaining game to watch. But there were moments where we thought, oh, Raiders going to win this for sure, but no, it was easy for the Storm. Then on to the final game, where the Roosters beat the Sharks 27-8 as the final game. This one was at Allianz with good conditions. It was actually pretty close at certain points, but eventually, with the help of Marky Mark, who was once again pretty brilliant, the Roosters got the win, and they'll continue their good form at the top of the ladder. For anyone wondering, Penrith are, yes, still on top, Burnley ahead by 4 points with the Wires in second, Dolphins in third, and Roosters in fourth. You have a team like Knights making that 5th place, Manly 6th, Rabbitohs 7th, and the Sharks in 8th. For the people who are outside of that, well, I'm pretty happy because now Rays have gone down to 16th, and the Eels are 14th. Woo! That is progress, people. We're tying points with the Broncos in 13th, and 2 points behind the Bulldogs and the Storm, and 4 points behind Tigers, Cowboys in 8-9, and 6 points behind the Sharks, who are sitting in 8th place at the moment. Everything is kind of closing up. It's looking interesting. I haven't checked fantasy in a while. I'm going to have a quick reload and let's see if this is worth it. Basically, none of my squad didn't play. Okay, definitely wasn't worth it, except Ryan Couchman got 77 points on the bench. That is pretty impressive. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm going to stop the out now. Have a lovely, lovely day, guys. Goodbye.